But John, you're touching on a good question in terms of many of these places. In Marseille, in fact, the port is outside of the town, and in fact, to get in buses and to go out to Provence, you completely bypass the town. So, in fact, for the tour takers, it works pretty well. And I think in most places we have fairly well organized, at least any place where the industry is focused on it, where it's fairly well organized to get the passengers on the buses early in the morning and to efficiently exit the port and go off on the tours. And most of the Mediterranean ports, I would say, have the ability to move the buses efficiently in the morning. There's a few places that are not bus-oriented places, like the town at the top of the hill in Santorini or Dubrovnik. I mean, there's a few places that are small towns that are inherently small that, in fact, get pretty crowded just physically, not buses, but just a lot of people. And I think over the years we've discussed these places many times, and some places there's just not a lot that we can do about it as an industry, other than things like best practices. Staging tours at different times of the day and trying to take approaches of that nature so that it's not all everybody in the same crunch time. But I think when we talk about at least the focus on the infrastructure, it's more, can the ports handle the additional ships and the larger ships that come? This is something that takes several years to plan. And we, as you know, we spend a lot of energy, not only Royal Caribbean, but the other brands as well, on trying to solve these infrastructure problems, working with the communities. I think that the problem of sort of bus and pedestrian congestion is something that's best addressed between the industry and the local, say, Chamber of Commerce, the local municipality, and try to come up with programs. And I know, for example, Dubrovnik, that mayor is very proactive in trying to come up with different ways of hosting the cruise guests in a way that doesn't make the place unattractive to land visitors, because they have to balance this as well. But I think many places, most places, are trying to address this in some manner in a positive way.
Okay, thank you, John. And again, I'll refer you to the port and cruise line and port interaction session on Wednesday, where I'm sure that will be discussed. As chairman, I think I'll just point out that there are some other ports that would claim Provence as their hinterland, and in fact, if you go over to the exhibition and tour around it, you'll see at least two I can think of, as well as, incidentally, some representations from inland cities such as Avignon, Saint-Rémy-de-Provence, maybe Aix-en-Provence. So Provence lovers can absolutely fill their boots over at the exhibition. I'm going to move on now, ladies and gentlemen, to Domenico Pellegrino. You've heard from him earlier. He's the Managing Director of MSC Cruises. He's going to talk a little bit about